So, Photoshop is an Adobe product, so it does come with a Creative Cloud if you ever do the cloud. Remember, you can do a 30-day trial of the software. So if you're doing PR production next semester, you could do maybe the trial, but it would only give you 30 days. If you take it from me, we do Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator. I'm not sure if all classes use Illustrator. Illustrator is a vector graphic software where you draw. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go with the easiest one first. We're going to go with the Mockingjay Part 2. So we're going to go ahead and open up those graphics. Remember, you can open up these graphics just like you do an item in Microsoft Word. File Open or Command O to open the graphic. And my computer's a little slow. There we go. So I have to go through all my folders because I like to keep things organized. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the image inside of this. Now the only problem is if you go up and look at image size, you're going to see this is 23.27 inches by 15.597 inches by 72 resolution. This would not transfer to TV well. So the only thing we're going to have to do to make sure it can go to TV is we're going to need to open up one of those templates. So you downloaded previously, hopefully you kept it, the template for the graphic. So I'm going to also have to go and find my graphics template. If you did not, remember it is online in the Photoshop folder with the football schedule, and it says graphics template. If not, you can go ahead and re-download it or get it from your other folder. So we do need the graphics template because we need to make sure it's the proper size. If it isn't the proper size, when it goes on television, it might only cover up maybe your anchor's, chin and neck area instead of going full screen. Or it might be very tiny in the plasma if we put it on the plasma television in the studio. So just like it's important for you to be able to export videos at the proper codec and size, it's important that your graphics are the proper size and resolution. Otherwise, they won't transfer to television properly. So remember, they are online if you did not have them in your folder. It's under the Photoshop football schedule one that we worked on the first time. So you can go ahead and get it from there. Or if you already have it on your jump drive and hard drive, you can open it up. So I'll give you a second to do that because I see some of you are going online to download it. So you got it in Photoshop? Okay. So what we're going to do then is we are going to put this image inside this movie theater graphic. It's pretty simple. You've done most of this before, actually all of this. So once you know how to utilize some of these tools, you can use them in your own creative way to make graphics. The graphics that you see from Mississippi State are often created in Photoshop, maybe using a little bit of InDesign and Adobe Premiere, or excuse me, Adobe After Effects. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to transfer the movie theater to the graphics template. Remember, there are some hotkeys that are similar to Microsoft Word in Photoshop. If you hit Command A, it selects all. Or you can go up to the Select menu. So think logically. Select menu would select things. Select all. Then you can go to Edit, Copy. Some of our keyboards are a little sticky. If you press the Command C, sometimes it won't copy. So if you tried to copy with the letter Command C, and it doesn't work, then you probably just need to go up to Edit, Copy because your keyboard's a little sticky. And then we're going to go to the graphics template and we're going to paste it, which is Command V, like in Microsoft Word. And you can see that if we did try to put this on the plasma, we would have black on the sides of the movie theater, which isn't going to be good. Minor things in graphics are a big issue. Like ESPN, if you have a period instead of a comma or things like that, they notice and they critique it. So graphics, you do have to be very careful. So remember, we're going to hit Command and the letter T as in transform, and then that's going to put a box around your image and you can adjust it. Now we do want to adjust it proportionally. We don't want to warp it. Now it isn't a person or anything like that, so you could pull just left over and right over, but we're going to do it proportionately so it doesn't skew it and make it look wider or taller. So if you hold the Shift key and move your arrow to the corner, any corner, you'll see it goes to a double-sided slanted not curved, but slanted arrow. And then I'm going to just pull it outward. Then I'm going to go to the other side, go to where I see a double-sided arrow. While holding the Shift key, I'm going to pull it outward, and I'm going to hit the Return key to apply the transformation. Now, if you want to see more seats and less of that black line or the black shaded area up top, you could move it using your arrow keys on your keyboard. Or you can use and if that doesn't work, it's probably because you don't have your selection arrow, which is up at the top. So just like in Adobe Premiere, you have to have that arrow selected to click on and move your clips. You have to use this move or selection arrow to move the graphic. So I'm going to just click with my move or selection arrow and pull it up so I see more of the seats and less of that darkness on the top. So get it to where you like your graphic. If you don't want as much seats as I do, that's fine. Now, like we had selected the football player, you know that there are different ways to select things. One of the easiest ways would probably be your magic wand. Remember, your magic wand is the fourth tool down. You can press W for wand, or you can click and hold. It looks like a paintbrush with a dotted circle behind it. If you click and hold on that fourth tool down, if you get lost, you can look up here. That fourth tool down with the dotted paintbrush, you can click, hold, and go to the magic wand. And then you can click once in the white box. Since it's all white against a black outside, it's only going to select the white. I just realized this isn't going to work because, well, yeah, it does work. Okay, hit the delete key and it'll work. If the layer is locked and it has a lock next to the layer, then this would not work. So if you open this image and you just try to do it, if you look up here, you notice how this image has a lock by it. If you can look up here, you see how this image has a lock right here where my cursor is circling. You'll notice if I try to delete this, it will not let me delete it because, it's the other layer and it freaks out and it won't delete it. It just adds more of the other stuff to it, which is weird. So that's why it worked on this one, because we pasted it onto an empty layer, whereas here it is the layer. So that's why it did not work. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit Command D to deselect and get rid of those marching ants. Or you can go up to the Select, Deselect menu. Then you're going to go to the Mockingjay, and we're going to hit Command A to select all, Command C to copy. We're going to go here and we're going to press Command V to paste, or you can go up to Edit, Paste. Now, why is the Mockingjay above my movie theater layer? Why is it not inside that square? Because the layer is above it. Remember, like we talked about, it's kind of like pillows and sheets on a bed. If you have something above something, we're going to see it and not what's below it. So the way to get the Mockingjay inside is you're just going to click, hold, and drag that layer beneath layer 1. And then again, use your arrow to adjust it to where you can see all of it where it says Mockingjay Part 2. And now you have your graphic. So if you flattened this and saved it as a Targa, it would allow you to send it to a TV studio and they could use it. So Command T to transform to make your movie theater bigger. There you go. Corner, pull it. Yep. Other corner, pull it. Yep. Return key to apply it. Bam. And then grab it. Now let's keep everything organized because this is part of your points, really easy points. We're going to label your layers because like I told you, when you start doing a lot of posters or graphics, you're going to have a lot of problems. So what we're going to do is we're going to label it. So let's click on where it says layer 1, click, and you can say theater. Remember, it's not like our theater. Our theater, since it's a performance art, is T-H-E-A-T-R-E. This is a T-H-E-A-T-E-R, theater, or you can say movie. Then on the other one, we can say Mocking or Jay or, man, I can't believe I forgot her name. Well, yeah, I remember that person's name. Jennifer Lawrence, yeah. So I could say Katniss. Katniss. I don't even know if that's spelled right, but close enough. At least I would know what what it is. I don't know if it's spelled right. But so again, to label your layers, because it is worth points in this assignment, remember your layers window is over on the side. Just like in a lot of software, if you do not see the window, you can go up to Window and find the window that you need. If you see a check mark by it, it does mean that it is already open. You just probably need to click on one of these other tabs to make it visible. Remember, I'm here to help, so if you have questions, ask me. If you don't ask me, I can't help. Okay, so now we're done with this one. So we're going to go File, Save As. Because if we don't save it as a targa, it's not going to work. So we're going to call it your first initial, and this is worth points, last name, and we're going to say movie. And we're going to save it as a PSD. The reason we save it as a PSD is because it still has the layers. It means you can always go back and adjust it if you need to. Say you spell something wrong, you can go back and fix it. So let's put it on your jump drive, and we're going to go to put it in your folder. I have one called Movie Preview Full Screen 2015. That's just what I do. And I'm going to save it in there. So first initial, last name, movie, and we're going to save it as a PSD. Now it's always going to come up as a PSD if you have multiple layers, and it's always going to ask you, do you want to maximize compatibility? Yes. Just say OK. And now you've saved it. However, the problem is if you sent this to me on the Expression machine that we use for the sports or a TV studio, this would not work on their computers or their systems because it is a Photoshop document. That's what PSD stands for, and it's not a targa. Televisions, studios, and graphics machines function in targas. Alright, so now that we have our labels layered, remember you click on the text and then you change the name. We're going to save it again as your first initial, last name, movie. And now we're going to flatten it. So we're going to go up to Layer, Flatten. So again, you're going to go up to the Layer menu and Flatten. Remember, don't be afraid to ask questions, because if you get 2 or 3 steps behind, then you're behind, and it gets a little crazy for you. So we're going to go up to Layer, Flatten. Now we want to save it as a targa. So we're going to go up and say File, Save As. And if you go down to Format, you can go down to where it says targa, and we're just going to save it as the same name, but targa. And we want it 24-bit. So again, you're going to go to File, Save As. You're going to go down to where it says Format, and you're going to say targa, and it's going to come up as a .tga, which stands for targa. And we're going to say Save. Now this is very crucial. This is worth a lot of points. If you do not save it as the proper pixel, it will not be the proper graphic. OTS graphics are 32 bits. Full screens are 24 bits. Each color channel is 8 bits, RGB. And then on the OTS graphic, you have what we call an alpha channel. An alpha channel allows the system to know what stays and what needs to disappear and be transparent. So we're going to say, yes, we want it on a 24-bit pixel, and say OK. Yeah, so we want both of them because you're going to give me both the PSD and the targa for this assignment. 24-bit. So it should come up with that little box that says, when you hit Save, it should come up with a little window and say 24-bit. Say, OK, we want 24-bit. And now if you sent this to a TV studio, you could have this go out on television.